The Nigerian economy has done it again. The Nigerian economy has done it again. I told you. Nobody I tell them. So the economy of Nigeria has been celebrated again by the IMF for rising its ranking in Africa. In case you don't still know, despite the economic growth, despite the progress and all that Nigeria has been doing, Nigeria is still generally considered the fourth biggest economy in Africa, which means they still say that despite Nigeria having the highest economic growth, despite Nigeria with having many opportunities, even with the devaluation of the Naira, South Africa is still ahead of Nigeria. Which other country? So Nigeria was still ranked the fourth biggest economy in Africa. And that's what Ghanaians and South Africans were celebrating. There was a time where that drop came in. Nigeria was the biggest economy in Africa for a very long time. So when Nigeria's devaluation came in, Naira fell. So Nigeria fell straight to the fourth, even though Nigeria's economic reform has helped the country to bounce back, to be taking a positive direction, to be coming back stronger, to be growing, to be retaking its shape and regaining its position. Even though there's a time I announced on this platform that Nigeria is now having the biggest GDP in Africa. In terms of GDP, Nigeria went back to the biggest economy in Africa in terms of GDP. You understand? Just GDP alone. But GDP alone is not the only thing that matters in the economy of a country. Because when the World Bank and the IMF announced that Nigeria's gross domestic product has repositioned Nigeria as the biggest economy in Africa, many of us celebrated, but we didn't celebrate completely because we knew that even with that GDP coming back, Nigeria has not yet officially regained its position as the biggest economy in Africa. And that's why we are here, because the IMF has just announced another breaking news about this economic progress. You understand? You know that the economic growth in Nigeria now is comparable to none. I saw some videos trending recently, and even Nigeria's opposition leader, His Excellency Peter Obi, came out to say that Nigeria is not recorded because the IMF brought a list recently talking of the fastest growing economies in the world. Many of them were African countries, and Nigeria was missing in that list, which is a list of the fastest growing economies in the world based on probably per capita income and other aspects, because every list depends. Countries with the biggest GDP, their growth might not be so. The percentage growth might not be big as the percentage growth of smaller countries. You understand? I also saw Reno Mokori try to explain this particular point with counteracting what Peter Obi said, because I am very, very interested in Nigeria's economic growth. That's why I follow this news. And I understand. But this time around, the IMF has also come up with something even more significant and more inspiring. And the explanation this time around is far more clear and more better. So Nigeria reclaims its place amongst Africa's top 3 largest economy, meaning that Nigeria is no longer the 4th richest economy in Africa. Nigeria has gained a position up, becoming the 3rd biggest economy. So they didn't actually say Nigeria is number 3 anyway, so I shouldn't put words in their mouth. They say Nigeria has regained its position as become in top 3 largest economies in Africa. So they didn't say it's number 1, they didn't say it's number 2. Nigeria simply just became one of the top 3 biggest economies in Africa. They used to be number 4. Let me be clear on that. So coming to becoming the top 3 biggest economy in Africa, according to International Monetary Funds and IMF, is very, very important. Because right now, this explains the massive economic growth, and everybody has been shouting economic reform that has helped the country to progress. So this is evidence enough that the economic reform is actually making Nigeria win over their enemies. Nigeria has enemies. The enemy is plenty. The enemies plenty. They don't want to see Nigeria rise. And some of the enemies are even inside Nigeria. Some of the enemies, they're inside Nigeria, because let me tell you what Nigerians don't know. The Naira fall was a big advantage to many Nigerians. The fact that $1 is 1,500 Naira many Nigerians were happy because many Nigerians were able to sell their goods to other countries. Many Cameroonians knew that if they come to Nigeria now, that's still doing it. Many Ghanaians, many Nigeria's productivity is on the rise because people are living all over Africa to come and buy. What you are selling in Nigeria for 10,000 naira, people will come from Cameroon and come and buy it. They know that if they come to Cameroon and sell that thing, even if it's for 5,000 francs, that means that 5,000 francs is equivalent to about 15,000 naira. That means they have gained 50%. But there are people who come to Nigeria because of that weak naira and buy polo. This polo they wear now. Let's say this Nigerian jersey. Hear me and hear me well, Nigerians who wants to make money. Hear me and hear me well. You go to Nigeria now, you buy this polo for 5,000 naira. You come to Cameroon, you sell it for 5,000 francs. That's 15,000 naira. How much be your gain? So, but if naira was equal to Cameroon currency, that will not be possible. Cameroonians will not come in their numbers to come and buy like that. You understand? They will not float to come and buy. So the fall of the naira helped the Nigerian economy to attract more buyers all over Africa and all over the world. And that's why many Nigerians were happy. And so the naira is stabilizing. And for the only reason for naira to stabilize and Nigerians be happy and enjoy the economic growth and continue experiencing these massive businesses, people coming into Nigeria to buy, is if the naira is stabilizing and prices are going down. So instead of people to buy this one now 5,000 naira, they should buy it for 2,500 naira. Cameroonians go stick on buy. Ghanaians go stick on buy. So that is where Nigeria is winning, and that's exactly where Ghana is failing. Because Ghana had inflation that was terrible. Everything became expensive in Ghana. But now their government went and borrowed money and signed paper. They now say, oh, Ghana economy has now become stable. Their currency has regained their value. Yet, prices of goods did not change. Prices of cars did not change. Prices did not go cheaper. Which kind of economic stability be that? Which kind of economic stability be that? So that's the difference between Nigeria and other African countries. And that's why I say Nigeria is the economic heartbeat of Africa. So this information from the IMF is very, very, very much valid and should be celebrated by all Nigerians, because this simply means that Nigeria is winning over their enemies and Nigeria is about to regain its position as the biggest economy in Africa in every aspect. It doesn't matter how you want to look at it. Nigeria will regain its position as the biggest economy in Africa. So Nigeria projected to reclaim its position as the third biggest economy in Africa in 2026, which is just a few months from now, by the economic reforms and the rising oil revenue, the revenue from oil. What I said about Dangote, doubling the capacity of the refinery is also mind-blowing and transforming. In 2026 outlook, Nigeria's economic GDP forecast will go to $334.34 billion, following Egypt and South Africa. So apparently Egypt and South Africa, they are still ahead of Nigeria, but Nigeria is definitely going to overthrow them and regain that position and take back what rightfully belongs to Nigeria, the giant of Africa. So economic reliance and policy changes like removing fuel subsidies, stabilizing the Naira contributes to Nigeria's economic recovery. Nigeria's rising signifies that the importance of sustained reforms and tangible growth are improving the living standards of Nigerians. So there is good news about the economy. I'm happy that I have a lot of friends who are Nigerians, but Nigerians should get ready to see a better Nigeria. Because anybody that is into business in Nigeria now, it go better for you. It go better for you. Nigeria will become so powerful that other African countries will be asking themselves, what were we doing when Nigeria was achieving all these things? What were other African countries doing when Nigeria was working? Right now, the Nigerian government has also brought in something new that many Nigerians should be celebrating. They have brought in accountability in Nigeria government spendings. Now you must prove that you have spent the money. If they give you money to go and do work, you must prove that you have spent the money to do that work. To help politicians to spend the money on the right things. So we are happy with these changes, and this is a great news that the economy is back to where it's supposed to be. It is what it is. Your boy Jim Max on this one again. Smash the like button, smash notification bell. Come back anytime you're free, because there's always more beautiful and amazing videos just for y'all. God bless y'all. Cheers.